Are Cannonrushes viable against Terran? Is Ryung perhaps the coolest guy in the world? And how long can Snails sleep consecutively? All of these questions will be answered in today's episode of StarCraft Today.
StarCraft Today.
Your favorite StarCraft news show. The Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2022, we saw Ryung replace Armani in the round of 36, after which Ryung managed to make a dream-like run in the tournament, ending up with a top 12 finish and a fair share of prize money. Armani, however, shared in one of the GSL interviews for Group B that Ryung isn't just great at the game, but also is a great guy, as Ryung decided to share part of the prize money that he earned with Armani, because Ryung said, well, without you dropping out, I never would have been capable of going to Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, so you deserve some of the money. This is extremely uncommon. I've never heard of this occurring before, where you replace or you pay the person that you're replacing, and it shows that Ryung has a very, very big heart. Talking about the GSL and talking about Ryung, we have to discuss Group B. Last Thursday in the GSL, Ryung, Maru, Zest and Armani entered a group, and oh boy, some fireworks immediately at the start as Ryung managed to take out Zest 2-0, an upset that not a lot of people expected. Yes, Ryung has been showing good results, but when you match these two up against one another, I think a lot of people would have favored Zest, but Zest dropped down to that losers match. On the other hand, we saw Maru against Armani. Armani with a good performance in the first game, and perhaps kind of threw that game on Pride of Altaris against Maru, but afterwards Maru just a little bit too strong for the Korean Zerg player, and that ended up with the winner's match being Maru versus Ryung. Ryung, the only Terran player at that point to hold a winning record against Maru. Now sure, the last time they played before this time was in 2017, so it was a long time ago, but still a very impressive feat. Maru, however, a little bit too strong for Ryung, managed to take him out 2-0, and in the lower match we saw Zest make short work of Armani, and that led us to the final match of this group, Zest versus Ryung, the rematch. And once again, Ryung just a little bit too strong for Zest in a very unlikely series, more on that later. Ryung managed to eventually take out Zest and advance on to the round of 10 in the GSL. So Maru and Ryung making it out of this group, and Zest and Armani falling out, and perhaps the last tournament for Zest. To be fair, we've been hearing Zest retiring for a very long time now, but I think that this actually might have been his last GSL performance. Moving on to Group C with Rogue, Beyond, Zaun and Nightmare. First match, Nightmare versus Rogue. Nightmare, the complete underdog, actually managing to take game 2 on Curious Minds, and in the final game on Hardwire, basically having a hard blind build order counter. He opens up with a glaive build, goes into a fast Dark Shrine, doesn't deal a lot of damage, but Rogue cuts workers very early and immediately goes for a hatchery tech all-in. If you have Dark Templars against a hatchery tech all-in, there's simply no detection for the Zerg. There were no spores at home, there's no Overseer with this army, which means all that Nightmare needs to do is warp in 3 DTs at home and he's safe. But for whatever weird reason, Nightmare decides to cancel his Dark Shrine, throw down 3 extra gateways and a Robo Bay. He loses the 3rd base, and then his natural also gets broken. Just an extremely odd situation, which I honestly can't explain. I don't quite understand what happens. I think it's nerves. He must have been extremely nervous seeing Ravagers and then misclicked, but yeah, very, very unfortunate for the young Protoss player dropping down to the losers match. On the other side, we saw Zaun make short work of Bian in a, well, not very exciting first series if you're a Terran fan. And that left us with Rogue and Zaun in the winners match there. Rogue honestly just looked levels above Zaun. Zaun came in with some cute preparation, had some cool things prepared, but Rogue said, I don't care about your preparation. Boom, here's a Rochelin. Boom, here's 25 Mutas, and Zaun could not counter. Meanwhile, in the lower match, we saw Bian and Nightmare fight it out. Nightmare once again taking him a map, but the experience of Bian just a little bit too powerful. Bian managed to qualify for the decider match, where he once again would face off against Zaun, and this time it did go Bian's way. With some solid stellar control, some cute drop play, and overall just solid macro, and managed to take out the Protoss player. Bian and Rogue advancing out of the groups, and that means that we're now 3 groups in with not a single Protoss player yet in the round of 10. Now, there is still 3 Protoss players in the tournament, Hero, Trap, and creator, but it is possible that only 1 or 2 will make it out, and it will have a very low Protoss ratio in the round of 10 of the GSL. This week's game of the week, I already mentioned it, Ryung versus Zest, game number 3 on Hardwire from their second series. An absolute banger of a game. Starting with a cannon rush on the low ground, crawling up towards the high ground. Zest denies mining in the main base for quite a long while, then forces Ryung to stay on 2 base for what feels like forever. 4 base against 2 base, later on moving into a 7 base versus 4 base scenario in which Zest has all the tech, he's all the infrastructure, he's continuously up in eco, but just can't manage to win a fight in a convincing enough way. Insane defensive effort out of Ryung, but at certain points Zest just kind of throwing this game away completely. In the end, he loses a fight while he's up, I believe, 4 bases still. He has a massive army and it just controls it kind of poorly, does not have the disruptor count that he requires. It is a really odd game to watch, and it could be considered one of the greatest throws of all time in StarCraft 2, or one of the greatest comebacks of all time in StarCraft 2, whether you're a pessimist or an optimist, I guess. It's an absolutely wild game. I don't often suggest to watch a game, just once a week. And once again, this week I'll tell you, please go watch this game. It's actually insane. This game is completely bonkers from start to finish. As always, we had 3 ESL Open Cups this week, starting with the Sunday on Korea, where Gumiho made a decent run, taking out Cure 2-0 in the semifinals, followed up by taking out Classic in the finals 3-1, meaning that Gumiho won his ESL Open Cup Korea. Moving over to Europe, we saw Neep having a great run, only beating Protoss players, and then Hero Marine in the finals just being a little bit too strong for him. That European pride once again showing through there as Big Gabe managed to defend the continent. Over in America, we saw Australia with the run of a lifetime, taking out Clem, Dark, and Cure consecutively, only to lose to MaxPax 3-1 in the finals. And to add insult to injury, the final game was an absolutely insane cannon rush game on Glittering Ashes, in which I think MaxPax never should have won, but he did manage to win. So MaxPax taking the North American Cup. So congratulations to the 3 winners this week, and go check out that last game between MaxPax and Australia. That was a banger, trust me. This week's clip of the week is the Distraction Nexus to get down the pylons to build the cannon. A true masterpiece here out of Daydreamer against Goblin.
Okay. I do need to talk. What? What the fuck is this? Oh my god, you guys are gonna lose your mind. This guy's high.
No.
It's a good thing because he's laughing.
This guy's high.
Our boy is swinging, man.
Oh no, 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 no! Oh no, this is bad actually. Oh no, Goblin. Oh no. Okay, I think Goblin is in trouble. I think Goblin might be
What?
dead.
I'm so nervous because you're like casting and we don't know what's happening.
Yeah, Goblin. I think Goblin is dead.
What? No way, man.
No way.
Yeah, I think he's dead. I would be dead here.
Great little clip there as Daydreamer with the ultimate mind game. The fake proxy nexus into the real cannon rush. Something that Goblin wasn't quite expecting. Sadly, that's going to be it for today's episode of StarCraft Today. But not before we answer the question, how long can snails really sleep? And the answer to that is up to 3 years. Snails need moisture in the environment to perform very well. So if the climate isn't quite correct, they can just go into hibernation or into estivation, which is also known as the summer sleep, and hibernation being winter sleep. And they can sleep for a very, very long time. Usually snails actually, if they're on a day-to-day schedule, sleep 14 to 15 hours a day, and then they keep going for 30 hours until they have another, 14 to 15 hours sleep. But they can go into long sleep as well. Very interesting stuff here. Nice little fact to tell your uncle next birthday or whenever you guys meet your uncle. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all for watching this episode of StarCraft Today. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.